Yo, what is up, folks? This is Johnny Bnq Jividan coming back at you with another episode of the Bnq and Goof show this week. Big week this week in Philly sports. Lots of stuff to go over in this week's episode. First and foremost, Nick Goofgoff is again not here today. In addition to having several night classes he has to teach last night, he also has very bad alcohol-induced diarrhea, so he'll not be here today. We're hoping to have him back next week for next week's episode. But other than that, probably the biggest thing that happened this week is obviously the Braves got beat by the Philadelphia Phillies 3-1. They had two great games in Philly. Of course, they got one win in Atlanta, but the two wins in Philly were probably the biggest wins. Beat them 9-1, and then I believe 8-3 last night to finally, to punch a ticket to the NLCS, where they're probably going to face. Well, they're going to face either the Dodgers or the Padres. Can't remember off the top of my head what that series is. I know the Padres were up, I think 2-1. But I'm not 100% sure on that as of now. But either way, either of those teams are going to be tough. I obviously did not see Philly getting this far in the playoffs, but it looks like they got all the momentum in the world. And honestly, it just looks like they can just ride this wave. Who knows? I mean, it's not crazy to say they could ride it all the way to the World Series. I know the Dodgers are a tough team. Padres are obviously a tough team. They're giving the Dodgers a real hard time. But, the Phillies are just pulling it out. I don't know where they're... But, man, they're looking great. They're looking really good. I'm really looking forward to this next series coming up. Of course, we still don't know who they're going to play as of yet. But, or at least I don't know. I haven't really kept up with the other series, so as of today, I'm not 100% sure who we're playing in the NLCS. We'll probably know by the end of the day. But really, no matter who we face, I'm pretty confident in the Phillies. Like I said, they've really just seemed like they've had some sort of momentum or something going for them these past couple series. They've looked great, so I'm really looking forward to them keeping this thing going and hopefully riding it all the way to a World Series and a World Series championship. And, I haven't really kept kept up much with the American League. I have no idea who's still in it. I think the Astros just beat the Mariners, if I remember correctly. That was last night. But other than that, I don't know who they. It's obviously still a long ways out before we figure out if they're going to make it to the World Series, who they'd be facing. That's all conjecture at this point. But obviously we're all looking forward to the Phillies winning their next series, making it to the World Series, winning that series. That'd be a great season. A season nobody really expected us to have. Nobody expected us to get this far. Even I didn't expect it to get this far. So really, just anything at this point is just icing on the cake. It just gets better and better from here. So, yeah, great stuff from the Phillies. The Flyers are back this week. They won a couple of games. A cool, smooth transition here. The Phillies won, or what do you call them? The hockey team. Flyers. Man, what the heck is wrong with me? Yeah, the Flyers are back this week. They won 2 games. One earlier this week against New Jersey. They won 5-3, if I remember correctly. They won last night against the Canucks 3-2. So, Goff's really the hockey guy. I don't really know much about hockey, but I know they won those games, so that's pretty good. It's been a great week. Philly winning 3 out of 4 games against the Braves to move on to the NLCS. Flyers winning those 2 games this week. And then, of course, we got Sunday Night Football tonight. Undefeated, 5-0. Philadelphia Eagles going up against there's this team from Dallas. I don't remember their names. They're like the Oh, the Cowboys. That's what they call them. That's what they call themselves. They also call themselves a football team. Uh, but in all seriousness, they're actually a pretty solid team. They're 4-1. So this is actually going to be a really big game for us. If we get this win, it'll really solidify us as the number one in this division. Which honestly, like I said, I've said this before, and I think the last episode, I really didn't expect us to have this much competition in the NFC East this year, especially with Dak Prescott being out. Um, the Cowboys have somehow, gone 4-1 with some guy whose name's Cooper Rush, which sounds like a made up name, at quarterback. And the Giants, I don't even know who plays on their team. I don't even know if they have professional football players on their team. They're somehow 4-1. So, I mean, yeah, tougher competition than we thought. The Commanders stink. They're as bad as their name. But yeah, so this is going to be a big game tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing how this game goes down. Of course, I think we're going to win. I'm not expecting us to lose to the Cowboys. Even though they've done well. I mean, they beat the defending Super Bowl champs pretty bad last week. So I actually, in all seriousness, I do think this could be a pretty competitive game. I think it could come down to a pretty close game. I mean, like last week was pretty close against the Cardinals. We ended up winning 2017. Got kind of lucky on a last-second field goal they missed. I mean, it's not like that would have only just tied the game, but it's better to win, obviously, and it probably would have ended up going to a time game or something like that. Then obviously I think we would have won that still, but it is good to get the win. It's a good thing that we gutted it out and got the win there. It looked like it wasn't going to be that close for a while, but the offense kind of stalled out. And I think that could be a kind of problem we'll deal with this year, is that the offense gets started out hot and then maybe it kind of sizzles out near the middle or end of the game. In the Jacksonville game, it kind of started out slow and then picked up. But, either way, I don't think there's really any major weakness that we got to worry about as far as the team right now. Or at least not that I've, not something glaringly obvious, other than the kind of offensive line health. But if I had to make a prediction of how I think this game's going to go down tonight, I would say it would probably be, as far as a score, Dallas has got a really good defense. I think it's going to be tough to score a whole bunch of points on them. I mean, I know our offense is good, and I know it's going to be at home. But I think it's going to be a real back and forth. I don't think it's going to be a super high-scoring game. At least that's not how I foresee it going down. Of course, you never know how these things will really go down until, game's over or whatever. But if I had to say, I'm thinking something like 24-20, 24-17 maybe. Something in that kind of low 2 to 3 touchdown a piece game or something like that. And I think it's going to be like a real tight battle. It's going to come down to, can we get them, can we get the ball moving against them early, and can we keep it going all throughout the game? Of course, the running game is going to be real big, and it's going to be real big to stop their running. Because obviously, Cooper Rush has done what he's had to do in Dallas, but their number one threat is probably got to still be Ezekiel Elliott. So if we shut him down, I think we get ourselves in a pretty good position to win this game. So, and I think it's probably the number one thing it comes down to is if we can consistently keep moving the ball on them, scoring points, and if we do that, just slow them down when we. Because I don't think they're not like a really explosive offense, without some of their bigger piece, without Dak Prescott and these type, and their offense isn't super high powered. I mean, they got some good weapons, but I think without a superstar quarterback back there, I think just as long as we just keep moving the ball and scoring points, I don't think that they'll blow us out of the water scoring, or at least I hope. I don't. That's not how I see it going down. Yeah, but I think it'll be a really good game. I think this is probably not our first really tough game, but I think that this is going to be a real big statement in the league as to who's a real tough contender in this league this year. So I think if we win, it's going to really solidify us as the number one team in the league, which is what we've been the last 5 weeks. And if we lose, it's not the end of the season. Obviously, I mean, it's only a 6th game of the year, but I just think it'll be real. It won't be the end all be all if we lose, but if we win, I think it's a really big statement, especially in our own division. But looking forward to the game. And one more announcement before we close out the show. Last week I had mentioned we're planning another trip back to Philly. And our next trip to Philly is guaranteed to be December 19th. We're going to the Philadelphia 76ers game against the Toronto Raptors, December 19th. I think I said that already. It doesn't matter. Saying it again. And unlike last time, we actually have pretty good tickets. Last time was kind of a fiasco with the tickets, but that's neither here nor there. So again, we're going to be there December 19th, and we're going to have more live content there like we did last time. So we're looking forward to that a whole lot. And Goff will be back next week. He's got some Pepto-Bismol. He's going to pump it up and take some Imodium or whatever. So we're hoping to get him back next week on the show. A lot of fans have been missing him. Maybe, I don't know. But that's all we got to show this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff. Comment on the video, say something nice, say something mean about Goff. He's not here. He won't see it. He won't know. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Give us some likes on Twitter to follow the things or whatever. But that's all we got this week, guys. So let's go Birds. Let's beat the Cowboys tonight. Let's go Phillies, winning their series and moving on to the next what do you call it? Like the next stage, next round of the playoffs, the NLCS. Rooting for them. Looking forward to the start of the Flyers season, the start of the Sixers coming up at the end of this month. A lot of big things coming up. So let's go. Life rips.